Bart can hear anyway, right? And can he see too?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well then, at this time, since we have a quorum, I'd like to call to order our meeting of April 8th, 2021. And we have a few agenda items, but the first will be the roll call of our members, please.
Jim Clary, Bart Riley, Tim Schrapp,
Here.
Janet Lind,
Here.
Denise Anderson, Matt Steitzer,
Here.
Josh O'Neill,
Here.
Jeremy Sally, and Mike McLeod.
Okay, thank you. The next item is approval of minutes from our previous meeting on January 28th, 2021. Do any board members have any questions about that? If not, the chair would entertain a motion to approve. Yes, Mr. O'Neill.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Janet.
Thank you. Okay, there's been a motion in a second. All those in favor of approving those minutes signify with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion passes. The next item is a public hearing board action regarding zone change number 182. And Mr. Pipinich, do you have a staff report for us?
Yes, Madam Chair. Let me share
Okay.
my screen.
Proceed. Thank you.
So I have a quick PowerPoint presentation. This zone change application. The applicant is Audacity Capital Management, Chris Ewing, who is available tonight. And the item is an application for approval of a change to the zoning district map by changing the classification of an area of land that is currently zoned R2 to C2 community commercial. So the applicant is requesting to change the zoning designation of approximately 1.5 acres. It's 2 parcels with an alley in between. The current designation is R2, 2-family residence, and he's asking that it be changed to C2 community commercial. The site is privately owned and consists of vacant land and a dentist office. I'll show you an aerial and kind of talk about where it's at here in a sec. The applicant wishes to construct multifamily residential units on this parcel. So he's requesting to extend the C2 designation to Ohio Street. So where this is at is this here on the corner of, it's between Broadway and Park Street, east of Arizona Street, next to the Broadway Cafe this is Ohio Street here. So it's this vacant parcel, and then it's the dentist office that's on Park Street. So it's on the east side of Arizona to extend it all the way over to Ohio Street, which is that small road right next to the Broadway Cafe. The current zoning districts, as I stated, it's in the R2 zoning district. The C2 is directly to the west. It's about half that block off of Arizona Street. So the request is to extend it over to Ohio Street. Staff findings. So the applicant owns approximately 1/2 acre of the subject area. When he applied for the zone change, the planning staff sent a certified letter to the other landowner. It didn't make a lot of sense not to include the dentist office in this zone change, considered they're a permitted use in the C2 zone and not in the current zone that they're in. So it made a lot of sense just to incorporate that whole block. So we sent the letter to that landowner, and a response was not received. To kind of discuss the Montana Code Annotated as far as zoning boundaries and them being amended, they can be amended. They may not be effective except upon a favorable vote of 2/3 of the present and voting members of a city or town council or legislative body. when a protest is against the change signed by 25% or more of the lots in the area. I just wanted to mention that since we didn't hear from that other landowner that there would need to be a protest, and it still goes to the Council of Commissioners. So diving into the criteria for this zone change. Criteria number 1 is the zoning designation in accordance with the comprehensive plan or the growth policy. All of you are very aware of our new comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan place type for this area is Uptown Edge. So the goal of the Uptown Edge is to serve as a transitional area immediately surrounding the Uptown core, the more centralized commercial district, intended for a mix of commercial-centric development interspersed with multifamily residential, which just happens to be what his proposal is. Zoning districts that are found in the Uptown Edge are R2, which is 2-family residential, R3, multifamily residential, and C2. So the request to change it to C2 would accommodate that commercial-centric development and multifamily residential uses. Those are both permitted uses in the C2. Therefore, changing it from R2 to C2 is still in compliance with the comprehensive plan and growth policy. Here's a screenshot of the Uptown Edge future characteristics out of our new comprehensive plan. You can see the primary land use, secondary land uses, neighborhood scale commercial. It's talking about multifamily, duplexes, triplexes, and that commercial centric, just outside of the Uptown core kind of feel. The next criteria is it designated to lessen congestions in the streets. So as I was kind of talking about Ohio Street, this is a platted street, but you can see in this picture here, it really serves more of an alley. It is not it doesn't meet our design standards for commercial traffic or really any kind of traffic as a street. But this parcel is bounded by the north and the south by Broadway and Park Streets, which are definitely designed to handle commercial traffic. They are the two streets that go right into the Uptown core. Some of the other criteria, the 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they're all kind of similar. Promoting health and the general welfare, securing from fire, panic, dangers, adequate air and light. All these things are things that are addressed in the C2 zone. So C2 zone has density requirements, development standards, requirements for stormwater controls, all these things that promote the health and general welfare. So those are built into the C2 zoning district. So by extending that to this area, you're actually extending that. So the development standards as well. So currently it's R2 development there may not necessarily require things like a stormwater permit. As if it is changed to C2 to the commercial zones, then elements such as stormwater permits and landscaping and setbacks and all that stuff of that zone are also extended to this area. So it does promote all of that. The provision of transportation, water, sewage, schools, parks, fire, police, and other improvements. Again, it's bounded by 3 streets, one being substandard, but it's there and it is what it is. But Park Street and Broadway are definitely available to accommodate any traffic to this area. There's municipal water and sanitary sewer mains serving the area, and it's basically infill development. This is a vacant lot on the Broadway Street side, and there would be no changes on the dentist office. It'd just be taking them into the proper zone. This map kind of shows the locations of water and sewer, water mains being blue, sewer mains being green. Notice there's nothing in Ohio, but Park Street and Broadway Street both have public services. Some more photos. This is the dentist office on the south. That's the south piece of the property. Obviously, this is a commercial building and would fit in a commercial zone better than in an R2 zone. Just some shots of the neighborhood. This is looking down Park Street towards the C2 zone. So does the new zone give reasonable consideration to the character of the district, to the particular suitability for the property for particular uses, and was the new zoning adopted with a view conserving the value of buildings? The parcels directly west of the proposed change are currently zoned C2. The developed parcel in the proposed change is a permitted use in the C2. Obviously, all the development in the area is commercial, so this proposal does meet these requirements. There has not been any residential development in the area in some time. I should also note that the applicant's parcel is larger pieces too, that are larger than your typical R2 parcels. Again, that's the existing building. So will the new zoning encourage the most appropriate use of the land? Does it correct a mistake or oversight or an inappropriate zoning category, and will better reflect the situation or area in the neighborhood because since the zoning was adopted, there is changed significantly in terms of land use? To discuss this, it is in compliance with the comprehensive plan. I don't believe it corrects a mistake necessarily, but it does represent more of what has been developed in the area. Things have just changed over time, and it wouldn't necessarily be correcting a mistake, but just reflecting the commercial character of the district. This is right outside of our Uptown core, and all the adjacent development is commercial. There are some single-family homes on the north side of Broadway Street across the street that would still stay in the R2 zone. So in conclusion, this proposal is in compliance with the growth policy or the comprehensive plan, and therefore the planning department has concluded that that they recommend approval of zone change number 182. We think it makes sense for the character of the neighborhood, and it meets the 14 criteria. So I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Pipinich. Do any board members have questions for Dylan?
Madam Chair?
Oh, yes, Mr. Stacher, go ahead.
So, Mr. Pipinich, can you tell me how the dentist office that's there is a commercial building that's in residential, and it was allowed to do that because it has a permitted use? I'm wondering how it's not already commercial.
Madam Chair, Mr. Seitzer, it's in a residential zone. So either it was there prior to zoning, or professional offices like that are also a special use permit application. You can be there by special use. I'm not sure why that is there, but in the C2 district, it would be a permitted use outright in the zone. So it wouldn't be subject to any zoning further review if it were to ever expand or anything like that. And it definitely has commercial character and better fits in that zone. So it is there legally, if that's what you're asking. It would be a legal use in that zone, whether non-conforming or by special use permit. But does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments or questions? We'll have a chance for more discussion once the public hearing begins, but does the applicant have anything they'd like to share at this time with us, Mr. Ewing?
Sure, let me go off mute here. Yeah, first, thank everyone for time, attention, and consideration of this request. That means a lot to me. This is our second, actually concurrent project in Butte, in Uptown Butte. So we're very excited to be participating in terms of investment and development in your town, which I think is really great. Kind of falling in love with Butte this last year. So Appreciate the consideration. Again, like Dylan really eloquently said, I mean, our goal here is to build multifamily and not a big tower, not 20, 30 units. We have a design that would put 5 or 6 units on the lot. So we think that's really appropriate for this size lot and the location. Don't think it would cause a strain on Ohio Street if our 5 or 6 tenants occasionally use that street. Like Dylan said, the Broadway and Park streets that bookend that are more than adequate for that type of volume. And so that is our goal. As it sits today with R2, we could put a duplex on there. But quite frankly, with the cost of new construction and all the soft costs and design and engineering and all that, 2 units on their own just wouldn't pencil feasibly from a financial standpoint. So in order to build something that actually pencils and makes sense, it needs to be in that 5 to 6 unit range.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions from the board for the applicant about his plan? Okay, seeing none, then we can proceed to having the public hearing, and I'll explain how that process works. First of all, we need to find out if the public hearing has been advertised, and has it, Mrs. Larson?
Yes, it has.
Thank you very much. So all questions, comments will go through the chair, and I will open up the floor for questions and comments. First for proponents, and then for opponents. There will be 3 calls for each section. We do have the opportunity for people to call in. So the phone number is 497-5009. That's 497-5009. After we receive public comments, the applicant may answer questions or comments, but please remember to direct them through the chair. They're not to be directed to individuals making comments or public testimony. And then the public hearing will be closed and the board will have discussion and we'll make a decision. So at this time, I'd like to open the public hearing for zone change 182. And I would like to make the first call for proponents, people in support of this change. This is the first call for proponents.
Madam Chair,
Yes, yes, Mrs. Casey.
I would just acknowledge that the planning department has not received any written comments for this particular application. And the phone line is available at 497-5009 for call-ins.
Thank you. Okay. And make the second call for proponents, people in support of this. And my technician is watching the phone very carefully. Are we? And third call for proponents, people interested to support this zone change. And we'll give it 30 seconds or so in case it's on a delay. At this point, the chair will move to opponents. First call for people opposed to this zone change. Second call for opponents. Third call for opponents. Okay, at this point, we don't have any additional questions for the applicant to answer. Oh, is that us? Okay, all right. So we know that the phone line did work, but we had no callers, so that's good. So at this time, I'd like to close the public hearing of the meeting. And do any board members have additional comments or questions of staff or the applicant? Yes, Mr. O'Neill. Unmute yourself, my dear.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to wish the applicants good luck and thanks for building nice stuff in Butte. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, at this point, if there aren't any additional comments, the chair would entertain a motion to take action. Yes, Mr. O'Neill.
Thanks, Madam Chair. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the zone change. I'm sorry, I need the number here.
182.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve zone change number 182.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Steitzer. We have a motion and a second to approve zone change 182. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It appears the motion carries. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And good luck. And you're welcome to stay on, or you can click off if you'd like.
I think I'll jump because
Okay.
family commitment tonight, but thank you very much. I appreciate everyone on the call.
Okay, thank you. And the next item on our agenda is other business. And Mrs. Casey, it looks like we may not have any.
Madam Chair, we did promise to come back to this board with some requirements that, or I guess not requirements, but a look at what other communities are doing with shipping containers. I have to defer. Dylan, were you able to complete that today?
Madam Chair, we're not complete with our review. We've started some communities. Missoula, for instance, makes them screen from residential zones. Lori, I think you looked at Billings, right? We're still compiling things,
Okay.
but we're looking. They're addressed in several other communities in town, so we can create a more comprehensive.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'd apologize, but we have been running short staff for quite some time. Roxy has taken another position in the land records area of our department. Which is good for her, but we continue to run two staff down for a while, and so are working on things. And the good news is that we are very busy with permitting and things that are going on in this community. The bad news is some of our items have had to go to the back burner for the short term. So we did start, but like as Dylan said, we're not prepared to come with a full report this month.
Okay, well, and probably at our next meeting, we'll have more information, and some of our other members interested in that will also be in attendance. So that brings me up, when do we expect to have our next planning board meeting?
Madam Chair, I believe that we do not have anything else scheduled for April, because I know this is a special meeting, was to complete this zone change tonight. So the next regularly scheduled would be in May. Okay. And I'd just like to, for the board's information, when we looked at our staffing levels and some of the items that we have going on in the department, we have made the decision to convert Roxy's position as an administrative assistant within our office to a planning tech. Our idea is that that planning tech can answer a lot of the more simple, or if you will, zoning questions that we receive. We're in the process of going to a new software system for permitting and also on the planning side, so they can help with that entry of the application, making sure the application is complete. Eventually, this software called Excella will be out to the citizens where they will be able to do their permitting and applications online. And so we believe with everything that we are implementing, it will help streamline our process, but that a planning tech position would probably be more in line. It will be at the same pay rate as the administrative assistant was, but would maybe be more in line what we will need with the department for the future. So that position is being advertised and closes this month on the 21st.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Good luck to Roxy. She will be missed.
Yes, she's committed to stay on and do our minutes for a while in our meetings, so that's a
What?
good thing.
What?
Yeah.
It's in print now, Rox. Okay, looking at the month of May, the last Thursday is the 27th before Memorial Day weekend. Is that a date we want to stick to or think about the 20th instead?
Madam Chair, we do have a zoning board of adjustment meeting on May 20th, but we could look to, if the board would prefer, we could look to perhaps like a Tuesday,
Mhm.
if that works better for the members.
How do folks feel about that? Thumbs up?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that would be
shall-
the 25th.
we'll adjust the agenda to reflect that it is May 25th then.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you. If that's all we have for tonight. Any
Madam
other
Chair, I've got a
comments?
couple questions.
Yes, Mr. Steitzer, go right ahead.
I have two questions for staff. One is, I know the council did an in-person meeting yesterday. Will our May meeting be in person? And then question two was, I know there was talk last capital cycle of proposing money for overhauling the zoning. And I was just wondering what the status of that for this coming up capital cycle is.
Madam Chair, Mr. Steitzer, yes, if all things stay the same, we will be back in person. The reason that this meeting wasn't in person, because I know, as you stated, the council opened up, we had advertised this. We have to be out 15 days for our advertisement. So we were out before Karen Sullivan, as the health officer, lifted those restrictions. So that's why we are on WebEx tonight. In regards to your second question, yes, we have met with the chief executive and we are proposing additional money in our budget for the to do a comprehensive update of the zoning ordinance. That will go forward in to the Council of Commissioners when the budget is presented. In addition, there are some federal relief money coming down in different things. We will be looking to see if any of those pots of money can be utilized in that regard, because there are some that are coming down for planning. We know there will be some money for planning for like affordable housing and things. And so we may fit in one of those buckets of money, and we will be ready to submit if one of those funding sources come available also.
Cool, thank you for the information. Looking
Okay.
forward to see humans next month.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's been quite the year.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I think Lori has the list, but I believe that some members are coming up on their terms
Oh, yes.
within a few months.
That's true. I think almost half of us have terms till July.
Yeah, Madam Chair, you're up, and I believe you stated that you thought you would go off. Is
That's
that
correct.
okay?
Yeah, I think a quarter of a century is long enough.
Okay. We sure appreciate
Let
your
somebody else
service.
have that thrill. Yes,
Um,
Josh, it does happen.
We want a quarter
Uh,
more.
Mr. Steitzer, you are also up. Would you like to do another term on this board?
Certainly, if you'll have me.
We
Good.
will definitely have you. Let's see, Jeremy Sally's not on, but his term is also up, and Denise Anderson. So we'll get with them to see if they would like to continue also. Madam Chair, you're going to be hard to replace.
Oh, well, thank you.
You
We
can,
can leave together,
Anyone can
Janet.
hammer nails, right? No.
We
You
can
can
leave
still-
together.
That's right, Rex.
you can come give public comment.
I can watch too. Yeah. My stress level is going to go down a little bit. That'll be good. But I appreciate you all. It's been great. So, but we'll have our meeting then on the 25th of May and possibly another meeting in June then. We'll see what's coming up.
Yes.
So, okay, at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Tim. Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Mr. O'Neill. All those in favor of adjourning, signify with aye. Aye. Very good. Nice to see you all. Be safe. Have a good month.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, you guys.
Night, night.
Night.
Bye.
See yous.
Okay.